You are now dialed in with the Dial Brothers.
What's up?
What's up? How are you?
Good. Episode 35.
Episode 35. Wow. You've come a long way. When does the season end? When does season 1 end?
When the year is over.
So a season is a year?
Yep, year-long season.
No break.
We different over here.
No break. Just
No, we'll break for Christmas.
so the season will end before Christmas.
Sure.
What are you saying like that?
Cause I mean, or you know what? This last episode of season 1.
No, we can't end season 1 before the election.
It pick up.
No. You can't end season 1 before the election. That it don't work like that. So maybe season 1 will end first week of December or something like that.
Then when are we gonna start back?
In January.
Oh, so we're gonna be off a whole month?
We'll see.
How you doing? I got more energy this week. Y'all complained about my energy last week, so but I feel better.
You were very low energy last week. I don't know what was wrong with you.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel better this week.
That's good.
Yep, been up and at it.
You played the show intro for the first time in a month.
Yeah, well, yes, the first time as how we're doing this live setup. Yes,
Good job. I'm proud of you for playing the show intro. That was needed. Man, so Micah was up late, unlike normal. Did you watch the entire debate?
I cut it off right before the end.
The end was strong.
And I told myself I was gonna wake up and watch it this morning, but I didn't. I mean, hey, I think that, the reason I like this picture is because Steven and I was texting back and forth during the debate last night, and Steven made a comment that I think really spoke volumes, said something along the lines of, "Welcome back to normal politics."
Yep.
I think now, I can't speak on the very end. I don't know what happened at the very end, but the majority of it that I saw, it was very much so, like you said, back to normal. There was decorum. They were respectful. They weren't really arguing unnecessarily. It wasn't a bunch of name calling. It was, you can clearly hear where, even though there were moments where both of them were kind of, I can't say what I'm trying to say, filibustering, but overall, you can hear both sides. Interestingly enough to me, I think, at least the parts that I watched, they were really kind of too nice to each other. There are a lot of moments, in my opinion, where they was agreeing with each other, where they were both like,
that was for show.
Like, yeah. So, but overall, I think it was good. I think I'm glad there's not another one. What's his name? Tim Walz. He didn't do bad in my opinion, but he's definitely not a debate. Really, neither one of them are. But
J.D. Vance was fine. I mean, now he told some untruths, but he was a good debater.
Man, I think it was NBC before the debate. They had two gentlemen on. The Caucasian gentleman name was Hogan. The black guy
Hogan
named
Gidley. He's from South Carolina.
Yes, him. And it was a black guy from South Carolina. Name was Antoine or Antonio, something like that.
Antoine Seawright. I know both of them.
Yeah, look, so it was funny because they were side by side, like literally sitting next to each other. I can't remember the guy's name who was from NBC, but he was telling them, "Thank y'all for being next to each other and talking." But Antoine, is that his name? He said, "Dang," and I just remembered it. But the way he said Hogan was lying, I said that was brilliant. The words he used, he said,
and they're both from South
Carolina.
They know each other. They're both from South Carolina.
Yeah, they was talking about it because the guy said only thing y'all will probably agree on is that South Carolina's barbecue is better and football is better than North Carolina.
Wouldn't agree with all that, but
what do you think about J.D. Vance and Tim's? Tim Scott.
Well, I was about to say, let me hold on. I'm gonna share the screen to play. Let's play a little. I don't know what this is.
Not you having stuff too.
No, it's just some highlights. Hold on, let me have it up for you. When you're ready, tell me, and I'll click play.
You can go. I don't see, but you go ahead.
It's not showing it.
Mm-mm. I think last time it
Hold on.
popped up on my thing. Yeah.
I hit request to share screen. Let me do it again. Hold on. Hold on. Chrome, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I think I got to do it on Chrome. Keep talking. So, I mean, honestly, I think at the end of the day, you know, a vice president debate is not going to change anyone's vote. With that said, JD Vance was clearly the better debater. I mean, that you can argue with whoever you want. I mean, JD Vance did a better job. Tim Walz appeared nervous. I mean, that was very apparent. But he had moments where he shined. On abortion, he was very strong. And I mentioned the end of the debate because the end of the debate was talking about 2020 and January 6th, and he asked JD Vance, do you basically, do you think Donald Trump tried to stop a free and
Oh, well, I
fair
guess I
election?
did see the endings. I saw that part.
Yeah, that's all.
Um,
And Vance said it was peaceful, and it was not peaceful. Like facts are facts. It was not peaceful. So Tim Walz had moments, but JD Vance carried the debate. But the thing is, he carried the debate by also not being truthful with a lot of stuff. So it just depends on who you talk to. But political scientists will tell you that this debate is not going to change people's votes or anything like that. Let me see if I can share the screen now. I did something different. Hold on. Share screen.
and JD Vance made a comment. He said, "Christ have mercy." It just made me laugh. 'Cause, who's this Christ have mercy? Lord have mercy, JD.
Or do you see anything now?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I did it last time.
You in Chrome? Like your whole
Yeah.
thing in Chrome?
Yeah. There's something about changing permission. It's okay. But I was just going to play some highlights from it. But I think a big part of the debate was abortion. A big part was housing, where,
Mm.
like Micah mentioned, they agreed on things. Some of that is strategy. And I mean, JD Vance job was to make the Trump Vance ticket look kinder. And he
Mm.
did that. He looked, what he was saying is some of the same stuff he says on the campaign trail, but his delivery, his bonding with Tim Walz, that's strategy. And
Yeah,
it worked.
yeah.
For many people it worked.
Because
What
what's his
I
name?
mean,
Trump could never.
um Donald Trump was live tweeting during the debate, and it's weird because he has Truth Social now, but he's back on Twitter. And like it got to a point where he started tweeting from Twitter. And on the abortion topic, he said in all caps that he does not support a national abortion ban. And then he said, now on the record, that he will veto it if Congress sends him a national abortion ban. So you had a combination of Trump live tweeting, which was interesting, and then Trump got distracted while he was live tweeting and talked about something we're going to talk about next, about people dying. So he was just all over the place on Twitter.
Who died?
He was talking about Pete Rose, but like in the middle of the debate, he was like,
Oh.
Pete Rose just died. They need to put him in the Hall of Fame before his funeral because he had a lifetime ban from Major League Baseball."
Let me ask you this. So there was the issue of abortion, and like you said, Tim Walz brought up, I don't want to mess her name up. I think her first name's Amber. That was really heart-wrenching story. JD brought up some story I believe he probably made up about the woman and the grandchild on the roof, and said that was the last photo taken of them. Might be true. If it is, prayers to them and their family, but I don't believe it. So they both, and they were calm. I think I'm being funny, but I'm not being funny. Tim shouldn't have gotten a haircut before this. He looked too. He just looked too.
He looked clean.
No, he needed to look a little more scrappy, how he normally looks. This looked like he would go into a funeral or his wedding or something. Like it was.
It's the first time. It's the one and only debate that this man's gonna have before people vote. He wanted to look the part.
And I
Both
understand all
of
the
them
stuff
look
about
presidential.
I understand all the stuff about notes and everything, but he took way too many notes. It was way too many notes.
That was something Donald Trump was tweeting about too.
Like,
And Micah asked me while the debate was going on, he's like, "Why does he keep writing down?" All of this is strategy and appearance and for show. Now,
but
granted,
it didn't look
he
good.
actually was writing down some notes, but what I'm saying is some candidates don't know what to do with their hands. So you put a pen in their hand, it calms you down. It makes you move around less. Tim Walz moves his hands around a little bit too much to the point that some people think he may be on something.
But
So
half
it's
the
to
debate, he's
calm
like
you
this.
down. Yeah, it's to keep him focused. I mean, other people do it. Trump Harris, they could not have notes. It was one of the conditions of the debate rules. So in debates that people have notepads in front of them, you'll see tons of people do it. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
just Tim Walz.
yeah. I know in all the other presidential debates, a lot of them, but even Joe Biden uses it, but he don't use it like that. It just
Everyone's
be a
different.
little quick thing, and then they should have taught him how to do it without just having his head down the whole time.
But what did you want him to do?
Look at the moderators. Look at
He
JD.
did.
He did, but he looked down at his notes a lot. That's why Trump tweeted about it. He looked at his notes a lot.
He
But
was writing a lot.
yeah, and
And
like you said, you could tell it when he flipped the page. You could see it. Circled
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And some of the candidates write down, now he wrote down too much and he was nervous. Some candidates write down things so they could try to use against their opponent
Mhm.
2 weeks from now. Oh, you said this. I've never heard you say this. Oh, he said this. Do we need to fact check this later? So some of that is you taking notes. And so
But you don't have to do that nowadays. It's recorded. You got other people on your team who could do all that. You don't have to do that. You being old, you don't have to do that. But I think that the issues that they talked about, I think to me, maybe just because the whole tone was different,
Mhm.
it felt like it might not be true. It felt like they covered more ground. I'm talking about the moderators than was covered with Trump and Harris.
They
It,
didn't.
it just felt like it, or
Yeah.
maybe it was more understood. Okay, we're
Yes.
talking about housing, and they
Mhm.
actually talked about housing. It
Mhm.
was, it wasn't all these one-liners and stuff. But it was somewhere I was going with that. Oh, this week has been a big week over in Israel and with Iran or Iran, however they want to say it, but I think it's Iran. Iran.
Mhm.
Uh that's part of the question. We might be about to end up being a part of a war.
Yeah, I mean, Israel is our ally, and regardless of who started it, they are being attacked constantly, more often than in recent years. And yeah, I mean, if it gets to a certain point, the United States will likely step in.
I think we're about to be at that point. Like, okay, as we're recording this today, well, we're live, October the 2nd. Keep in mind, y'all, a year ago almost, on October 7th, 2023, was that last year? Yeah, 2023. Hezbollah, however you say it, they
Hezbollah.
they came in, had the
It
terrorist
was
attack.
Hamas.
Hamas,
Just
yeah, they
saying.
came in, had the terrorist attack. That kind of, well, now some people would say it started before
Mhm.
that, but that was kind of the big thing that happened
Mhm.
in recent history. So between then and now, they've been messing with each other. And last week, Israel killed their leader. So they retaliated earlier this week by sending 200 something missiles over into Israel. But the good thing is Israel, well, I mean, I guess depending on whose side you're on, but the good thing is Israel had those counterattack, ballistic things where they could shoot down most of them.
And the U.S. helped.
Right. But okay, see, this is why really we're already in it. It's just that it's not like war hasn't been declared, because they said one of our
For
Navy
us, war
ships.
has been declared.
Well, yeah, for us.
Yes.
Our Navy ship
Mhm.
shot down 14, I think it was, of their missiles.
Mhm.
We in the war. That's if we shooting and hitting somebody else stuff, you in the war. I say all that to say, and Benjamin Netanyahu, who's prime minister of Israel, said that Iran made a big mistake tonight
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they about to hit
Because they
back.
know they got US on their side. So it's
Yeah.
like,
And those counter things to like shoot down the missiles, they said Iran don't have those.
well,
So
yeah.
all
Israel is known for having the Iron Dome. That's what it's
so
called.
all these missiles that Israel about to send back to Iran, oh, they about to tear Iran up. And you know what? If this might not be okay to say, but if I was Benjamin Netanyahu, today's October the 2nd, I would wait until October 7th and I would set
Well, if you didn't think they were already going to do something on October 7th, they
I would
probably was
set
already going.
Iran on fire if I was him. But I'm not saying I agree with that and everything. I'm just saying that if I was him, being devil's advocate a little bit, if I was him, I would do that. But at this point, and you know what? People from that region, I admire their dedication and passion and stuff. They will literally die for what they believe in. I mean, like strap a bomb to themselves type die for what they believe in. Because Iran, I know Israel just killed what's his name, but y'all just shot all these things over into Israel. What y'all think Israel about to do back to you?
They know. But
Like,
Iran also said that this ain't the only time they're going to do it. So, yes, they're in a war. Yes.
so I said all that to say, whether it's Kamala Harris, whether it's Donald Trump, even though Trump keeps saying all these different wars around the country, he can end them before he even is inaugurated. He can end the Ukraine-Russia war. Do you think that war would be a deciding factor for these undecided voters leading up to
No,
November?
it could be a deciding factor in 40 years. It won't be in 30 days. No.
Why not?
Because as much as we are the world police and people care about that, um, this race is going to come down to the economy and the border. Like the Israel thing, yes. Will it make people talk about it? Yes. Will some people be upset about, are we doing enough or not? Yes. That's not what these undecided voters are going to base their decision on. No.
Well, war affects the economy. Now, like you said,
Yeah,
voters
but not
who aren't
this.
smart enough might
Not
not really
this.
know. But
Yeah.
but war has a big impact on the economy. Actually,
Yeah, but we're
a
not at
good
war.
impact.
We're not at
Actually,
war. But
you said we're what?
we're not at war.
Well, but that's my thing. Will we be before November? Because I think depending on what Israel does very soon, it's going to be unavoidable. It's
No, I
like
mean, for the most part, we're going to let them try to hold their own and provide them with the resources that they need. We're going to try
clearly,
our best to not step in.
but
Trust me.
that's
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying. We stepped
Republicans
in the other
and
day.
Democrats. That's not really stepping in. That's us protecting ourselves. Those missiles came close to where our people are. We have 50,000 soldiers out there.
So that's what I'm saying. I just think before
So I'm
November,
saying that
we
was us
going
protecting ourselves. That was not us engaging in war.
I know. I'm just. I think before November, I think we're gonna be in war, and I think it's just gonna have a whole trickle effect. Do you think? Now JD said something along the lines of, even if Tim Walls wins, that he'll shake his hand, he'll be there to help him if he wants it. All this malarkey. Do you think that there will be a peaceful transfer of power either way it goes?
Yeah, if Donald Trump wins, there'll be a peaceful transfer of power, definitely.
Mhm. I feel like, and maybe not. I feel like he probably would, but I feel like, what's his name? Joe Biden wouldn't go to the inauguration.
Yes, he would.
He probably would, but I feel like he wouldn't.
He would.
But
Now, if Kamala Harris wins, I mean, put this in context. A white man won, and people tried to overtake the Capitol.
yeah,
not trying to make everything racial. A black woman
Who just found out she was black, according to Donald Trump.
I I just don't see it being peaceful if she wins. Now that doesn't mean the inauguration's gonna get canceled. They would never do that. But there may be some drama. But the thing is, the different dynamic here is Kamala Harris is the vice president, so she would be in Pence's situation. So it's not like, you know, I hope Kamala Harris does the right thing. Like she's gonna do whatever the vote says. So that's the different dynamic in this. So it's not going to be a Trump person in position to possibly pause it. We'll see, man. We are less
Other
than
than the
40
Supreme
days.
Court, potentially.
No,
You don't know.
no.
Then we don't know what's going to happen that could potentially make it go to the Supreme Court.
This race is down to 7 states, and really 5.
Well, and I'm saying all it takes is there to be a hiccup in one of those states, which is possible. It's not impossible for there to be a hiccup. And Donald Trump say, you know, something was wrong with the machines or whatever, and it goes to the Supreme Court. And I believe if it goes to the Supreme Court, which I know you keep saying that's not going to happen, but it's possible.
Anything's possible.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't trust this Supreme Court when it comes to making that particular decision. I think that they would just be like, okay, yep, Donald Trump.
Well, man, this race is tight. I am so because this is my thing. I am like nerding out. Like, just I can't wait. I know some people I talk to, friends or whoever, are stressed as heck or just nervous. Like, I'm just like, because yes, while who the president is, makes a difference, especially in the situation that we're currently in and coming off of 2020. Yes, this is important, but I can't wait. I can't, like, literally, we are 30 days from Sunday, and early voting starts before that. Like, it's gonna be great.
I think what's stressing me, if Kamala Harris wins, is the gap of time between election day and inauguration day.
What do you mean?
There's about to be a whole lot of fights and riots and mess. Just like, it's just too long. It's too long. Like, oh,
it's gonna be interesting, man. So Saturday I was off, but I partially worked. I talked to our Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who is huge now. She is just everywhere. I talked to Colin Allred, who's running against Ted Cruz, and then Governor Wes Moore from Maryland, who definitely is a rising star in the Democrat Party. And all of them said they were most nervous about the people who are skeptics and who may not vote. Like, now turnout is in any election, right? This is more about turning out your base in high numbers than trying to pull people over to your side. Like, yes, your goal is to pull people over to your side, but if you get your base out to vote and in high numbers, then you're going to win, regardless of how many people you pull over to your side, if people turned out. But Governor Moore told me he was worried about the people who just are pissed about both sides and are going to stay at home. This is going to be interesting to see what the turnout is going to be, because in some states, specifically swing states, the voter registration has been really high. It's going to be interesting. And then Democrats tend to vote early. Republicans tend to vote on election day. But Donald Trump has been telling people to vote early now. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. It was a couple people that I saw got interviewed on yesterday before the debate, speaking to your point, that said they're not going to vote at all, because they didn't like either side, didn't trust either side. Some of them even were saying that they felt it was just a whole nother conversation, but they felt that they didn't get the opportunity to have options more so talking about on the Democratic side than on the Republican side. And said that Kamala Harris was just forced onto the party. Which, I mean, there was no time for any of that, but I mean, it's kind of true. It wasn't.
Uh, my thing is a couple of things in response to that. One, Joe Biden ran for re-election with Kamala Harris as his vice president.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
She was still on the ticket. It's not like I struggle to understand some who feel like she was just thrown into this, like she was never there. You elected her in 2020.
She didn't have to accept it though.
Correct. What I'm saying is she was always on the ballot. When all these people voted in the primary, it was their ticket. So that's one thing. The people who, and I struggle with this because I've talked to people who I know who have shocked me this year and tell me that they don't think they're going to vote. I have, I guess, a different relationship with voting, and it's not even a white black thing, because one of my friends is white who said this. I just don't understand how people say, like, I'm not going to vote, even if you are frustrated as hell with the presidential candidates. There are so many other things on the ballot. You can leave the president thing blank if it's that serious to you, but that does not mean don't go vote. There's so many other things on the federal level and on the state level that you can vote for. So I think it's just a big excuse for someone to say, oh, I don't like the two candidates, I'm not going to vote. I just think that's, and again, it's not a black white thing. It's not a, oh, my great whatever, fought for this. Like, literally, like, okay, you don't like the two candidates, that don't mean don't go vote. That's my TED talk today. Like, I just don't understand that in some of these states, with the Roe v. Wade being overturned, in some of these states, abortion rights and things like that, whether you for it or not, they have referendums on the ballot. Some of these states, they have things like marijuana on the ballot. They have betting and casinos on the ballot, things that you do care about. And so it's just, I just shake my head because I'm hearing more and more people from my generation saying that they're not going to vote, and it just makes my head hurt.
Yeah, I 100% agree that everybody should vote, regardless. Even if you go vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or whoever, everybody should participate. Make your voice heard. And I think if you don't vote, you should shut up.
Yeah. And the thing is, the people who don't go vote are the main people, like, crying and complaining. So it's like,
yeah, if you're not a part of the process, then you shouldn't have anything to say about the process. But I'm looking forward to, clean that up. Moving past this whole generation of politicians, is the cleaner way to say that. Like, past Biden and Trump and Pelosi and trying to think of somebody on the Republican side, Lindsey Graham, just all of them, like, ready for new generations to come in. I know they're coming in, but I'm talking
and they're
about
gonna be the same. Sorry to
in a
burst your
different
bubble.
way. I think in a different way. In a different way. There's a difference between a liberal 80-year-old and a liberal 40-year-old, or a conservative 80-year-old and a
Yeah, but they can
conservative
become that conservative
40-year-old.
80-year-old.
Well, but I think conservative in the average across the country, conservative 40-year-olds, they're a different kind of conservative than the 80-year-old.
And the thing is,
The 80-year-old, remember when we had
Lindsey
separate water
Graham,
fountains?
Lindsey Graham was different than he is right now.
Yeah.
People move with the way that's gonna help them.
They fake.
Lindsey Graham wasn't no Trump support. Like, let's be real.
J.D. Vance wasn't.
Correct.
None of these people were who support him now. I mean, the vast majority of them weren't. It's
But
just
people are gravitated to power.
Yeah. Man, I just think that I still say I think Kamala Harris is gonna win. Um, and we're gonna end up in a war next year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's transition off of politics.
It's still
We
politics.
had a good discussion, huh?
If
This
you're
next
going to what I
topic ain't.
think we're going to, that is politics.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. My bad. No, I was thinking about something else. So yesterday, Tuesday, October 1st, Jimmy Carter, Georgia's own, became the oldest living president in the United States history. Jimmy Carter turned 100 years old. He's still in hospice. He's still hanging on, but he is alive and hit a milestone yesterday. And it's interesting. Multiple former presidents sent well wishes messages. Even some, like, I mean, Ted Cruz tweeted about it, except Donald Trump. But George Bush, Obama, Clinton all sent messages congratulating him on turning 100 years old.
Yep. It was something I was about to say. I don't remember. But yeah, congratulations to him. Oh, at this point, they need to stop saying the man is in hospice, because I know you can be in hospice for quite some time, but he's been in hospice for like over a year.
You could be in hospice. There's no time limit on hospice.
But what I'm saying is, hospice is supposed to be like.
Did you see
palliative
them wheel
care.
him out yesterday?
No,
You
he looks
didn't?
horrible.
They wheeled him out to see, because he was in the Navy. Some Navy planes flew over where he was. It was like family members outside sitting on the grass, and they wheeled him out. He looked like he looked at his wife's funeral.
No, what I'm saying is, mom said can be in hospice for years. I understand
Yeah.
it. What I'm saying is, hospice is end of life care. At this point,
That's what it is.
but at this point, if it's taking you this long to die, you just like all the rest of us. We all dying. You know what I'm saying, if it's taking you this
He closer
long,
than you.
he might not be. I don't know what's going on inside of me. He might not be.
One cool
Rosalind
thing,
died before him.
Rosalind. One cool thing, not about death, about Jimmy Carter. So Micah says I always talk about Texas connection. This ain't a Texas connection. This is actually a Georgia connection. One of my camera guys grew up next door to Jimmy Carter, like before he became governor and all that stuff. And continued to be close with the family. And he posted a picture yesterday, and it was Jimmy Carter put in a cooler in a trunk of a car, and it was a young him, like had to be 7 years old, standing next to him. And he said, "Happy birthday, Mr. President. Next time we have a fish fry, I'll carry the cooler." It was just a cool picture. And the Secret Service owns his house, the house that he grew up in, because it's right next door. But it was just really cool to hear stories from him about the man, because everyone, I don't think anyone, regardless of your side, will debate, like, Jimmy Carter out of the White House has just been like a remarkable man. He's had faults in the White House and did things that cost him re-election, but outside of the White House,
Not necessarily bad things.
No.
That was the problem. He was too nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the Georgia's only president so far.
Yep. He was governor and president. But yeah, he I would argue, not that Obama isn't, but or Bush, but he's for sure the nicest president after leaving the White House, for real. Like he was the most genuine. Well, I shouldn't say that, but he was the nicest. Yeah, I will say that he was the nicest. And I'm saying
and people will remember him for after the White House. Now, he did things in the White House, but people will remember him for Habitat for Humanity and
I was about to
things
say,
like
see,
that.
like Obama not about to go build your house.
That ain't his ministry. That was Jimmy Carter's ministry. You don't know what Obama gonna do in 20 years. I mean, Jimmy Carter was doing it from the time he left, but
Obama is not about to build your house. Obama's not about to come to Africa and fight AIDS. Obama's not about to do all that.
You do not know what he's going to do.
And see, here's the thing: Jimmy Carter didn't just help do those things in words. He literally
Yeah, he did it.
hammering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
taught
did it.
Sunday school. Mom said he was
Yeah,
too nice for politics. Yes, that is true. I mean,
yeah.
people didn't think this dude from this peanut farmer from Georgia was going to win, and
But you
then
know,
he got all the support of like these bands and stuff, and it just took off and got popular.
but you know what? It's always uh a response though. It's always a response. So
Yeah, you said this last show.
yeah,
Mhm.
and so you said before about your friend Secret
No, I'm
Service
saying
owning the film.
yes. I'm agreeing with you. Dog.
But yeah, so it's similar. Joe Biden won because it was a response to Trump. Trump won because it was a
Mhm.
response to Obama.
Well, if that's the case, then Kamala Harris not going to win.
Well, but I think she still would be the response to Trump, even though he's not the sitting
Trump's not in
president.
office.
I know, but I'm saying you know what I'm saying. Well, but even she's a response to Biden. All the issues about him being old and sleeping and don't know where he is, and really they need to stop having him on camera. Uh,
Why?
because
That man has done nothing wrong
Bec-
since dropping
no,
out.
because no, I'm saying he does still do stuff, and it's like, what is he doing?
Yeah, but people also be like, "Oh man, he's still president." Like people forget
Yeah,
because
I be
we're so
forgetting.
involved in this race. We're like, when he has events, I'm like, "Oh shoot, I forgot."
Yeah, I be forgetting about him too. But Jimmy Carter, you gotta say he's coming after technically Ford, but coming after Nixon and all of that.
Mhm.
So the country needed
A
a good
nice guy.
Christian farmer from Georgia. And then after we got that, it was like, oh no. And then they
Man, I was
got
watching it. I mean,
Reagan.
that was back in the day too, but it was some thread on Twitter, and they were talking about just like how like he didn't have like tailored suits and stuff. Like he just wore like common folk clothes. Like he
Yeah.
was just really just a normal American.
Yeah.
Then I saw a picture. He was the first president to install solar panels on the White House. I
Yeah.
bet you at that time they were like, "What is this?"
Yeah. Yeah. But rest in peace. I mean, not rest in
Oh,
peace.
he is not gone.
Happy birthday to President Jimmy Carter.
Jeez. Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's a segue into our next topic. Man, people have been passing away. Man, look at you with the graphic.
Yeah.
I was about to say who that last person.
Oh, Frankie Beverly.
I know it. We have lost some big people, whether in the world of acting, in the world of sports, in the world of music. James Earl Jones, John Amos, Pete Rose, Frankie Beverly. That's just some. I mean, there's others who have passed in September.
Mm.
Well, I mean, this always happens, but I guess in the moment it seems like, man, so many people are dying. What of those who have recently passed, who I don't want to say, do you like the most?
Frankie
Do you
Beverly.
remember the most? Huh?
Frankie Beverly is the one I guess I would say I care the most about
Mm-hmm.
passing. And then maybe John Amos more than
James Earl Jones.
yeah, because now obviously I know his voice, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily
But
I know
that's
his
what he's known
face.
for, his voice.
Yeah. But I can just remember like even my childhood seeing John Amos. So
But you remember in your childhood, James Earl Jones was Mufasa in
oh yeah,
Lion
Lion King.
King. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that Pete Rose guy, I don't know him.
Dad like Pete Rose. So do you know Pete Rose's background?
No, you say he got kicked out?
Yeah. So he still leads Major League Baseball, I think, in hits or something. He has a lot of records. He stole a lot of bases. They used to call him Charlie Hustle. He got in trouble when he was manager. He bet. He was involved in betting, which you're not supposed to bet in sports, and it was against his own team. And he denied it. He denied it for a while, but he got a lifetime ban from baseball because Dad used to say, there's a couple things you can do in sports. Like, this is gonna sound weird, so let me put it in context. In a lot of professional sports, you have people who do drugs. Well, not steroids, drugs. You have people who are involved in domestic violence and all this stuff, and they still have careers and all this stuff. but he said one thing people hate in sports, they get mad if you're betting, and they get mad if you take steroids. And if you look, during the steroids era in baseball, people, there's a black eye in the world of baseball, and then betting with Pete Rose. But that's what said Donald Trump tweeted during the debate, saying, because a lot of people, I mean, his stats speak for itself, and his stats were allegedly before the betting. So people are saying he should be in the Hall of Fame, regardless of him getting in trouble with betting.
Well, yeah. Let's see who passes in October.
John Amos, of course, the dad on Good Times, but then he had a big role on Coming to America. He's a cool dude.
No, didn't he die at work or something?
Who, Amos?
Yeah, I'm talking about Good Times.
Oh yeah, they killed him off because he was feuding behind the scenes with how they wanted the show to go, so they killed him.
Florida Evans.
Damn. So the crazy thing is, and I forgot to send you this yesterday. I'll send it to you. The crazy thing is, so Amos actually died in August. He didn't die yesterday. And so a lot of people are like, what the heck? Apparently, and I don't have all the facts, so I'm going to say very little. But there was a post apparently by his daughter on Facebook, a long post. And she was basically saying, I don't know if it's a family member or a close friend of his, but basically like pulled him away from the family and like,
I remember
restricted access or something. And he had dementia and yada, yada. But allegedly, according to the post that she made, they found out yesterday, like all of us did.
I remember that because I remember a video of him in like a black SUV, and his daughter was trying to get him to come with her, and he was like with whoever the other person was, and he was like, "I'm gonna be okay." Oh wow!
But apparently, they said they found out yesterday, like us, because one of my producers was like, "You know, he died in August." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like everybody just found out today. So yeah, I mean, that's a weird situation. I mean, he still recently passed, but it's crazy that he actually died in August and it's October 1st, yesterday.
Man, yep.
Mom said what?
Yeah, we are 30-something days away from electing the next president of the United States of America.
What are you talking about?
I'm just recapping. Ain't we better get on?
Oh, like what? I'm like, did you forget something?
And the chances are much higher now than last time that it might. Well, that's not necessarily true.
What did you say?
I was about to say that it might be a woman this time.
Yeah, it could be.
But I don't know that it's correct to say the chances are higher. I would think last time they were higher. As far as polls, I mean,
but polls were wrong.
Yeah, they were wrong.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to think. So this is episode 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Episode 40 will be the election. I think it'll be the day after the election. No, it's not. Hold on. October 31st. Hold on. Yeah. Episode 40 will be the day after election. So let's let that be the season finale. And then we'll pick back up before the inauguration.
Hey, Shamika, you timed it right. She said wait till 40 to break and then come back.
I think episode 40 will be November 6th.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Huh. There you go. And then we'll take our season 1 break and pick back up before the inauguration. I think that's good.
That's almost 2 months of not.
Unless, when your TV show goes off, it goes off for a while. We'll see.
So we're going to run from January to November.
Sure.
Okay.
Well,
maybe
everybody,
we'll come back in the new year with some.
Yeah. We make improvements.
Right.
I'll get a better camera.
Never would have thought we would still be doing
it. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Well, thank everybody for tuning into the Dial Show live. I said the Dial Show,
I'm
the
about to
Dialed In
say
Show. What?
that was it. You don't even know the name of the show. We talking
And I'm
about.
looking at it.
But
Thank
yep,
you
y'all
for.
have a blessed evening. I mean,
See, you messing up stuff too.
a blessed rest of your week until we see you again.
All right.
Bye bye.